I'm a Protestant who traveled all the way to a Catholic cathedral in Australia in hopes of attending an evening prayer service, and I was met with silence. And that silence turned out to be a gift, but before I explain why, we need to rewind a bit. I was raised as an evangelical Baptist, and through no fault of my parents or my pastors, I eventually became really anti-Catholic. How anti-Catholic? Well, I mean, the Catholic Church was a false, evil church, and the Pope was the Antichrist who was gonna lead us all astray. So yeah, that anti-Catholic. By God's grace, as I grew in my faith, I was introduced to mentors, pastors, and teachers who taught me a lot about the fullness of the Christian faith. Not fullness in the Catholic sense, just that my little pocket of evangelicalism wasn't the only way Christianity could be expressed. One of the first things that led me to being more ecumenical and open-minded towards Catholicism was the Liturgy of the Hours. The Liturgy of the Hours is historically a Christian prayer practice of praying at different hours of the day. Historically, Christian monks were the only ones who did this, and they've been doing this for well over 1,000 years now. By the Middle Ages, there were 7 set hours of prayer that monks would do all across the world. This kept their prayer lives set, structured, and reliable. When I first learned about liturgical prayer, the Liturgy of the Hours, the daily office, it was something very foreign to my upbringing. My prayer life looked like something you'd add on to the end of a Bible reading session, and it was really sporadic and often something I would skip if I didn't have time. I wanted to tap into this ancient prayer practice for myself, and it's been highly beneficial. My prayer life has been absolutely transformed, but historically these prayer hours weren't done as individuals. They were always done in the context of a gathering of other Christians, and I've always wanted to attend one of these services. So while I was on a trip to Sydney, Australia, I decided to go to St. Mary's Cathedral because they had a Vespers service. Vespers is the evening prayer time. I was hyped. Just walking up to the building felt like something big was supposed to happen here. Internally, I was buzzing with anticipation. I got there a little early, so I wandered around a bit because every cathedral is kind of like a museum, a living museum, if you'd like to put it that way. The anticipation was unbearable at this point, and I went to pick out my seat before it got started. With 5 minutes left before the start of Vespers, I sat down in my pew and took some time to just prayerfully prepare myself. I wanted to make sure I was fully ready for this awesome experience. Something was a little off though. There were still tons of tourists around. I figured if we're this close to a prayer service, at some point the security guards of the cathedral would just kindly ask people to exit unless they're participating. Maybe that was gonna happen at the start of the service though, so I sat patiently and waited. Then my watch hit 6 o'clock, the start of Vespers service, and nothing had happened. All right, but maybe it was gonna take like another 5 minutes, and then 10 minutes went by, and then 15. And nothing happened. I was checking my phone and my watch at the same time to make sure one of them wasn't off. I went to the cathedral's website to make sure I had the time right, and I was there at the right time. So I went up to the security guard to ask, hey, when is Vespers starting? He said, there is no Vespers service. It's been canceled. Oh, the disappointment hit instantaneously. I Charlie Brown walked back to my pew and sat for a bit, wrestling with the emotions of big expectations being met with nothing, being met with silence. Even though the cathedral was still buzzing with tourists, it felt so quiet. And even though I don't blame anybody in charge of this cathedral, moments like this always make me wonder, what's God doing? He created this perfect opportunity in a really packed trip, and I was met with disappointment. And I realized all my transcendent expectations of this cool moment with God weren't going to materialize. In the silence, sitting there in the pew, a Bible passage came to mind. 1 Kings 19. In this story, Elijah just had a huge victory for God, but this great transcendent moment didn't lead to the conversion of Israel that Elijah was hoping for, and he flees to Mount Horeb, also known as Mount Sinai. And if you know anything about Mount Sinai in Scripture, it's a pretty important location. God appears with great power and fire to the people of Israel. Moses climbs the mountain and receives the commandments of God. I can imagine Elijah was sifting through these stories in his mind as he fled to Mount Sinai, probably hoping to have a similar moment Moses had. Elijah arrives at Mount Sinai, and God tells him, wait on the side of this mountain, and I will appear to you. This is it. Elijah's getting his big Moses moment. Scripture says, as Elijah stood there, the Lord passed by, and a mighty windstorm hit the mountain. It was such a terrible blast that the rocks were torn loose, but the Lord was not in the wind. After the wind, there was an earthquake, but the Lord was not in the earthquake. And after the earthquake, there was a fire, but the Lord was not in the fire. And after the fire, there was the sound of a gentle whisper. When Elijah heard it, he wrapped his face in his cloak and went out and stood at the entrance of the cave. And a voice said, what are you doing here, Elijah? I, like Elijah, went to this grand cathedral expecting this amazing, transcendent experience with God. I wanted to hear some monks singing with all they had. I wanted to see incense and bells. I wanted to experience the whole thing. And I was met with silence, a gentle whisper reminding me of this passage. I wanted a cool moment that I could store in my memory banks and share online. And God wanted to give me rest. And can I be honest? Every single Christian tradition struggles with this same thing, especially in the age of the internet. Catholics, the Orthodox, Protestants, we're all trying to show the best and brightest versions of our faith tradition. A lot of people can dog on the big, flashy, megachurch style worship services because that seems to be clearly what they're doing, right? Trying to fabricate this transcendent experience for its people to like meet God or whatever. But even more traditional liturgical churches are guilty of the same. How many people have been misled by edits on TikTok and Instagram to think that every Catholic church, every Orthodox church, every Lutheran church is this bastion of based trad Christianity, where it's just Gregorian chants, crazy amounts of incense, and a scathing sermon against the woke mob of our world? How many people expect that, and then when they finally attend their first service, the choir isn't that good, the congregation can't quite say the prayers at the same time in the same way, the priest's sermon or homily is boring, uninspiring. And because these people had big expectations with a disappointing reality, they gave up. In my own evangelical upbringing, I've experienced too many people who have this story. People who were promised a big Mount Sinai moment and were met with a whisper, but they weren't prepared for the whisper, and so it wasn't good enough for them. Sometimes God is in those big moments. Scripture is full of them. Church history is full of them. I've personally had them. I've had those mountaintop experiences where God's voice is big and loud, and I know in my heart that my faith is true. And then I also have those moments where I go to God and I'm met with silence. I go to God and He's not willing to meet my expectations because my expectations aren't actually His will. He wants to give you what's good, what's true, what's beautiful, not what's epic, what's edgy, what's based. Every single one of us in every single Christian tradition needs to face that reality. That sometimes God is in the fire, He is in the wind, He is in the earthquake, but a lot of the times He's just trying to whisper. And we never slow down, we never shut off the noise so we can actually listen to Him. Maybe God's waiting for you to slow down, to be quiet, to humble yourself, and listen to the whisper. Trust me, I still need to learn that. My experience at St. Mary's Cathedral is proof of that. I don't want to end this video making you feel inferior and me superior. We're on the same journey of faith together. What I'd like to ask you, and really what I'm still asking myself, is what is God trying to whisper to you? Thanks so much for watching this little ramble about faith and God and Christianity. At Christianity United, this Protestant just tries to experience as much of the Christian faith as he can from all the various branches. Not to ignore the divisions that take place, but to encourage the unity and the agreements that we have. If that's interesting to you, I'd encourage you to subscribe, to like, to comment, and also I'd encourage you to check out this video right here where I go to Iceland and explore the way that its faith was developed from Catholicism to Lutheranism to atheism. I hope you check it out or any of the other videos on my channel, and I hope that you choose to listen to God's whisper in your life. I'm Joey, this is Christianity United.